The benefits often attributed to intermittent fasting, improved insulin sensitivity, reduced body fat, enhanced lipid profiles, and cardiovascular improvements frequently stem from overall reductions in calorie intake rather than the mere timing of meals. While fasting protocols like time-restricted eating, TRE, or alternate day fasting create structured periods without food, research suggests that the primary driver of many metabolic improvements is a natural reduction in total caloric consumption, which occurs when meals are limited to a set window. Understanding the relationship between energy balance and fasting clarifies why these approaches work and how they can be optimized for long-term health. When the eating window is shortened, individuals often consume fewer calories simply because there is less opportunity to eat. Even without consciously restricting food, skipping late-night snacks or shortening eating periods reduces overall energy intake, which can lead to modest but consistent weight loss. This reduction in calories decreases adiposity, lowers circulating insulin levels, and reduces inflammation, all of which contribute to improved metabolic efficiency. In contrast, if someone follows a fasting protocol but consumes the same or greater number of calories during the allowed window, many of the metabolic benefits, such as decreased fat mass and improved glycemic control, may be attenuated or absent. This suggests that energy deficit, rather than fasting per se, is the main driver behind observed improvements in body composition and metabolic markers. Calorie reduction also plays a critical role in enhancing insulin sensitivity. Excess caloric intake, particularly from refined carbohydrates and saturated fats, promotes insulin resistance over time. By naturally limiting total caloric consumption, fasting allows the body to utilize stored glycogen and fat more effectively, lowering circulating glucose and insulin levels. Even short-term fasting periods create windows in which the pancreas can rest, giving insulin receptors the opportunity to function more efficiently. These effects are amplified when overall calorie intake is moderated, supporting better postprandial glucose control and long-term metabolic resilience. Weight loss and adiposity reduction achieved through energy restriction also influence cardiovascular health. Lower total body fat, especially visceral fat, reduces blood pressure, improves lipid profiles, and decreases systemic inflammation. While fasting may enhance these outcomes by promoting nutrient timing and circadian alignment, the underlying mechanism is often linked to the negative energy balance created by shorter eating windows. Studies comparing fasting to continuous calorie restriction often show that similar metabolic and cardiovascular improvements are achievable when total caloric intake is matched, reinforcing the idea that energy balance is central to fasting's benefits. Even beyond weight loss, reduced calorie intake contributes to cellular and metabolic adaptations. Energy restriction activates pathways related to autophagy, mitochondrial efficiency, and oxidative stress reduction, all of which enhance metabolic function and longevity. Fasting periods may amplify these effects by extending the time between nutrient intake, but without an overall decrease in calories or quality nutrient choices, these cellular benefits can be muted. In other words, fasting provides a structure that facilitates an energy deficit and encourages nutrient-dense eating, rather than acting as a magical metabolic accelerator in isolation. The positive takeaway is that intermittent fasting can be a practical, sustainable strategy to improve energy balance without requiring conscious calorie counting. By limiting the window of eating, individuals often reduce snacking and overconsumption naturally, which supports gradual weight loss and metabolic health. When combined with balanced, nutrient-dense meals rich in protein, fiber, and healthy fats, fasting not only promotes energy restriction but also stabilizes blood sugar, supports satiety, and enhances cardiovascular markers. In this way, the timing of meals becomes a tool to reinforce healthy eating patterns rather than a standalone mechanism for metabolic improvement. In conclusion, the central factor driving many of the metabolic and cardiovascular benefits of intermittent fasting is energy balance. Reducing total caloric intake through structured eating windows improves insulin sensitivity, promotes fat loss, lowers blood pressure and lipid levels, and supports cellular repair processes. Meal timing and fasting periods can enhance these effects by aligning eating with circadian rhythms and reducing opportunities for excess intake, but they are most effective when they naturally create a moderate, sustainable caloric deficit. By focusing on energy balance within the context of fasting, individuals can achieve meaningful metabolic improvements while maintaining flexibility, adherence, and long-term wellness.